Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Ask Amity show. Today, we wanted to talk to you about inheriting small estates. So typically, if you do have some assets and you pass on without having a proper living trust set up or designated beneficiaries, then your beneficiaries will have to go through what's called probate. So what is probate? Probate really is a legal process that generally involves proving certain validities if you have a will, identifying and creating an inventory list of property and assets that the decedent owned, and also appraising certain values. If you have real estate, a business, then probate court will appoint a assessor to basically appraise all the assets and value of your property. The probate process will also help to identify the debts of the decedent and pay those debts and taxes that may have been owed. And then finally, probate court will determine the beneficiaries to your estate. If you did have a will and it was determined to be valid, then those beneficiaries in your will end up receiving those inheritance and those properties. If you did not have a will, then it would go through intestate, and the laws would determine who your closest heirs would be and how that distribution would happen. So typically that's kind of the probate process. Generally, it's a pretty lengthy process. It takes a lot of time and it costs a lot of money to go through this process. So generally speaking, we want to tell people try to avoid it as much as possible if it can be avoided. Prepare a living trust, obviously, to make sure that your heirs don't have to go through probate. But there are certain scenarios that may be an easier way of inheriting certain small estates. So Cindy, maybe you could go through that.
Absolutely. So you can avoid a full-on probate if you are inheriting a small estate. Now, what's a small estate? In California, the small estate is defined as an estate that is valued at $166,250 or less. So the magic number for 2021 is $166,250. If you're inheriting anything less than that, then you can go through what's called a small estate probate. It's a simplified process to receive assets, small assets, without having to go through probate. Because property value in California is so high, many estates are not going to qualify for small estates. So if you are inheriting a real estate in California, most likely this procedure is not going to be available to you. However, if you're inheriting anything other than real estate, then the likelihood of using this process is much higher. So the other possibility is receiving asset where you own it as a joint tenant. So joint ownership of maybe a bank account or maybe even real estate, but it needs to be, again, under $166,250 or less. So if you own property as joint ownership, this is called the right of survivorship. So you don't have to go through full probate because you can receive it through the right of survivorship. And this is something that our office can assist you with. Additionally, some assets may have already named beneficiaries, such as life insurance, retirement accounts, or bank accounts. If the beneficiaries are named in these assets, then you don't have to go through a full-on probate. These beneficiaries will be able to receive the assets, pretty straightforward process. And that's also something that our office can assist with if you need that assistance. So again, if you want to talk more about receiving assets in a small estate or even full-on probate, please contact our office and we'll be more than happy to discuss the options available to you. And until next time.